Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into it. As educational and organizational leaders, we all want a team that is totally fired up, right? But conquering disengagement and truly motivating a team? Well, that is easily one of the toughest challenges out there today. So today, we're unpacking a really powerful framework derived from Dr. David E. Wiggins II's research on igniting excellence. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the Big Fish leadership principles.
Section 1. The cost of disengagement.
It's super easy to think everything is fine if the work is, getting done on paper. But the dark reality facing a lot of organizations tells a totally different story. According to Gallup report data, a shocking 32% of U.S. employees are actually engaged at work. That means 68%, literally more than two-thirds of the workforce, are simply going through the motions. They are definitely not engaged. Just think about your own team for a second. If only a third of them are truly invested, what is that doing to your culture, your efficiency, and your overall results?
And that apathy, it has a massive real-world impact. Disengagement isn't just a morale issue. It is a giant financial drain, costing companies anywhere between $450 and $550 billion every single year. So this isn't just a minor hiccup. This is an urgent, systemic problem that leaders absolutely must solve if they want their organizations to actually thrive rather than just barely survive.
So how exactly do we fix it? That brings us to Section 2. Meet the Big Fish. What exactly does that mean? Well, Big Fish is a leadership concept representing a leader who creates a thriving environment where people feel valued, motivated, and part of something way bigger than themselves. Now, at first glance, I know it might sound like just another corporate buzzword, but digging into the research reveals it's actually a highly practical compass for empowering your staff and igniting excellence. Let's break down how it works.
Section 3. Believe, inspire, and grow. These are the BIG principles.
Diving into the first half of this framework, we can see how these concepts build on one another to spark that initial motivation. The B stands for believe in your team, which means genuinely trusting and empowering your staff to take ownership. I is for inspire with purpose, connecting their daily tasks to a larger, meaningful mission. And G is for grow through collaboration, which is all about fostering teamwork, open communication, and shared success. The absolutely crucial point here is giving your staff the freedom to actually do their jobs. When you step back, they step up. It helps to look at the striking contrast of what Big Fish leadership is definitively not. A micromanager stifles creativity and autonomy, leading straight to that frustration and massive disengagement we talked about earlier. But a Big Fish leader? They trust their team's abilities, they boost confidence, and they encourage innovation. Empowering your staff isn't just a nice thing to do. It directly leads to way better outcomes, whether you're talking about students in a school or employees in a business.
What's really fascinating about that inspire aspect is this core idea. When employees connect their daily tasks to a larger purpose, they feel way more engaged and passionate about what they do. You really have to share that greater vision. Your team needs to know that their work isn't just about, pushing paperwork, following policies, or writing lesson plans. It's about making a real difference in people's lives and shaping the future.
Moving on to Section 4. Foster, include, support, honor. This is the FISH half of the equation.
Okay, so we've sparked the motivation, but how do we keep it burning? The FISH principles are all about sustaining that drive and building a lasting culture. Here are the action steps. F is for foster recognition, celebrating achievements regularly. I is include everyone, making absolutely sure all voices are valued and actually heard. S stands for support autonomy, giving people the freedom to innovate on their own. And finally, H is for honor success, sharing those wins, both big and small. This team-oriented culture is exactly what prevents isolation. It creates a workplace where people feel like they are working with their leader, not just for them. Now, if you need proof that this whole thing actually works, the numbers are incredibly compelling. According to Applause, when employees feel valued, they are 81% more likely to go above and beyond their basic job descriptions. And consider that second stat, 31% less voluntary turnover. Fostering recognition doesn't just make people smile, it drastically transforms their effort levels and literally keeps your best talent from walking out the door.
And here is a fascinating detail for all of you leaders out there. Who do you think provides the most impactful praise? Well, it turns out 24% of employees say the most memorable recognition comes directly from the CEO or the top leader. Praise from the top truly matters. You need to become your team's biggest cheerleader. A simple, genuine thank you or public recognition coming directly from you carries incredible weight and really fuels that long-term commitment.
Let's look at Section 5, Transformational Leadership in Action. We've covered the abstract principles, but let's anchor them with a really powerful real-world anecdote from our source material, so we can see this in practice. Let's walk through Principal Johnson's turnaround at a struggling high school. In year 0, the baseline, he was facing super low morale and declining academic performance. It was a seriously tough situation. But in year 1, instead of bringing down the hammer and enforcing rigid top-down policies, he applied the big fish principles. He started empowering his staff, encouraging his teachers to innovate, and openly sharing student success stories. And the result? By year 2, he saw rising test scores, improved student engagement, and amazingly high faculty retention. This timeline proves these principles generate actual, measurable results in the real world. The absolutely crucial point of Johnson's success comes down to this core philosophy. Leadership is about influence, not authority. He didn't turn that school around by ruling with an iron fist. True purpose-driven leaders inspire through trust. They guide and support their teams to take ownership rather than just demanding compliance based on the title printed on their door.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. How does aligning daily tasks with a greater purpose enhance motivation and commitment? I challenge you to really reflect on your own leadership legacy today. Are you just managing your team, or are you truly inspiring them to be a part of something bigger? Thanks so much for joining me as we explored the Big Fish principles, and I genuinely hope you're ready to become the transformative leader your team needs. Catch you next time.